Yesterday, a Tyrannosaurus Rex sold at auction for $50 million. The most expensive dinosaur fossil ever sold. A mystery buyer, 10 minutes of bidding, a new world record. But 200 miles from where that skeleton came out of the ground, a different fossil has been sitting quietly in a museum case in Montana. Nobody bid on it. Nobody paid $1 for it, and it proves something no price tag ever could. This is the skull of an Edmontosaurus, and still stuck in its face, 66 million years later, is the broken tooth of the animal that attacked it. This is that story. 66 million years ago. Eastern Montana. The very end of the age of dinosaurs. This place was called Hell Creek. Warm rivers, wide floodplains, thick green forests, and two animals that shared this land more than almost any others. Tyrannosaurus Rex, and the animal it hunted most, Edmontosaurus. Edmontosaurus was a duck-billed dinosaur. Not small, some grew close to 40 feet long. It walked in herds, ate plants by the ton, and had one real defense: numbers and speed. It didn't have horns. It didn't have armor. What it had was a strong sense of danger and legs built to run. Tyrannosaurus Rex needed that. An adult T-Rex weighed as much as an elephant, but it wasn't built for a long chase. It was built for one thing: a single, devastating strike. Scientists have studied Tyrannosaurus feeding habits for decades. Bite marks on bones are actually common in this part of Montana. What's rare, extremely rare, is finding an actual broken tooth still stuck inside the bone. That's exactly what one fossil has. In 2005, researchers found a nearly complete Edmontosaurus skull in the Hell Creek Formation. It had been sitting in the ground since the day this animal died, and lodged in its snout, right in the nasal bone, was the broken tip of a tyrannosaur tooth. For years, this skull sat in a research collection. Then two scientists, Taya Weinberg-Hensler from the University of Alberta and John Scannella, curator of paleontology at Montana's Museum of the Rockies, decided to take a closer look. Here's why an embedded tooth matters so much. A bite mark just tells you an animal got bitten. A tooth left inside the bone tells you two things at once: exactly who got bitten and exactly who did the biting. The scientists compared the broken tooth to every known meat-eating dinosaur that lived in Hell Creek at the time. Only one matched: Tyrannosaurus. Then they went further. They sent the skull for a CT scan, the same kind of scan used on human patients at a hospital in Bozeman, Montana. The scan let them study the wound in 3 dimensions without breaking anything apart. What they found changed how we picture this attack. Most tyrannosaur bite marks show up on the body. The flank, the tail, places you'd expect an ambush predator to strike from behind or the side. This tooth wasn't on the side, it was in the face. That single detail matters. An animal that gets bitten in the face isn't running away. It's turned toward its attacker. It's looking right at it. Scientists say this pattern of bite to the face usually only happens to an animal that predator actually kills. Not a scavenged carcass, not a random scrap. A face-to-face encounter at the very end. Picture it happening: an Edmontosaurus, likely separated from the herd or caught off guard. A Tyrannosaurus Rex, closing the distance fast, using its size and speed for one committed strike. The Edmontosaurus turns to face it, whether by choice or because there was no time left to run. The T-Rex bites down, hard, on the front of its skull. The bone in a dinosaur's snout is tough, thick, dense, built to survive daily wear from feeding. For a tooth to snap off inside that bone, not scratch it, not chip it, but break off and stay lodged there, takes an enormous amount of force. Scientists call this exact kind of force deadly force, because that's simply what it takes to do this kind of damage. There's something else this skull shows. It's not just one bite. Researchers counted more than 20 separate tyrannosaur tooth marks across the same skull. That tells us this wasn't a quick strike and retreat. This was a sustained, repeated attack, or possibly repeated feeding on the same animal. focused again and again on the same target. And here's the detail that stays with you. The bone around that broken tooth shows no sign of healing, no new bone growth, no sign the animal lived even a few more days after this happened, which means one of two things. Either the Edmontosaurus was already dead when this bite landed, or this bite is the reason it died. Either way, the last thing this animal's face touched 66 million years ago was the tooth still sitting in it today. This skull isn't hidden away in storage. You can go see it right now in person at the Museum of the Rockies in Bozeman, Montana, in a hall called Hall of Horns and Teeth. The researchers who studied it compared their own process to something you'd recognize immediately. They called themselves Cretaceous crime scene investigators, reading the evidence left in bone, the same way investigators read evidence at a modern scene. The angle of the wound, the force behind it, what happened right before and right after. This is the real difference between a fossil that gets bought and a fossil that gets understood. A T-Rex sold for $50 million. It's an extraordinary specimen, and there's real scientific value in specimens like it too. But once a fossil like that goes to a private buyer, many scientists lose the ability to study it further, to test it again, to check the next question that comes up in 10 years. This Edmontosaurus skull went the other way. It stayed in a public collection. It stayed available to scientists, and because of that, 66 million years after this animal's final moment, we can still ask new questions about it and actually get answers. Two Hell Creek fossils, two very different kinds of value. One tells you what a dinosaur is worth. The other tells you what actually happened.